So a few weeks ago in an episode of The Current, we talked about, or I mentioned how I set aside time to spend with God in the morning, and that's what I call my Devo time, which is short for devotional time. And I thought, well, why don't I actually explain how to do that? I was a Christian for years before somebody actually walked me through what it looks like to spend some quiet time or Devo time in the Bible and with God. And so I thought, maybe let's just do that this week. Let's dive into that and kind of figure out what it looks like to spend some time with God. I'm a morning person. I love to wake up early and just start the day right, which is why I do my Devo in the morning, because it's the best way to start my day right. So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, woke up about 15 minutes ago, I brushed my teeth, and now I'm going to get my cup of coffee, grab my Bible, my journal, and my pen, and I'll meet you back here in just a few minutes to go through what it looks like to have a devotional. Now we can get started. So I've got my pen, I've got my journal, which is the bomb, if I do say so myself, and my Bible. And I normally like to use some sort of book that prompts me or gives me a scripture to read or something like that, but I'm staying at a friend's and I forgot it, so it's okay. My fallback is typically I just think about what day it is, so today's the 31st, and then I go to that Proverbs, and so today is Proverbs 31, so I'm going to open my Bible to Proverbs 31, and if you don't have a physical Bible, I would super encourage you to get one. Online is a great resource, but I know it's, like, especially for me, it's really hard to focus when I keep getting notifications or if my phone needs to be charged or anything like that, and so that doesn't need to happen with a paper Bible. So I encourage you to get one. Normally I would read the full proverb, and then I ask myself 3 questions. The first one is, what does it say? The second one, what does it mean? And the third one is, what does it mean to me? So one of the verses that stuck out to me, and you can do that, you can focus on the whole of the chapter, or you can zoom in on one verse that really spoke to you. And if you're reading a King James Version or an NIV and you think, I don't really understand what this is saying, don't stop. Don't be discouraged. Just find a different translation. That's one of the great things about having such awesome resources like an online Bible, is that you can find a different translation in words that you more understand. So sometimes I'm kind of wordy, and I like to read the Amplified Version sometimes, which adds more words to clarify what is going on in the scripture. So if you need to find a different version, that's totally fine. You do what works for you. Just don't give up and don't be discouraged and don't think, well, I guess I just have to be confused about it. You don't. So I'm picking Proverbs 31, verse 8, which says, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute." So the first question is, what does it say? Which is as simple as it sounds. What does it say? It says, speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Simple as that. It's nothing deep, nothing really crazy. So I jot that down in my journal. And then the second question is, what does it mean? So when it says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, what does that mean? It means when you see somebody who can't speak for themselves, it is your job to speak up for them, help them be noticed. So for example, if you have a friend who maybe her dad passes away or his dad passes away, something like that, and they don't know how to ask for help, then you need to speak up for them. Like, hey, we need to bring meals for them. We need to pray for them. We need to make sure that they're not alone. Things like that. That is your responsibility to speak up for that. And so what does it mean? Speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Be the voice for those who don't have a voice. So I would be writing all of this down, of course, if we weren't having this little chat. And then the third one, what does it mean to me? So this is very personal. So what I say may not necessarily be what it means to you, which is totally fine. Read some commentaries and find out what other people think. It's a great way to provoke thought and a good way to chew on the scripture. So what this one means to me is it is my responsibility as a Christian, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend, as a teacher, to notice those who are being overlooked. So, example, I'm serving in church and I think, hey, you know what? We don't really help these people. Then I can think of some way to help that group of people. I can speak up for them, be like, hey, these are needs that aren't being met, and we as a church, that is our responsibility. Or maybe you have a friend in school, like we've already talked about. Maybe that friend gets picked last. Oh man, that's the story of my life. Gets picked last for the sport, whatever it is, ultimate frisbee or dodgeball or anything like that. If you get the chance, then you can pick them first. I mean, why not? Really, why not? Something like that. So just take time and think, well, what does it mean to me? And then jot that down. And then I like to pray a little bit at the end and just say, hey, God, thanks so much for being here with me in this time and for giving me this time. I pray that what I'm learning here, you'll show me a way to apply that in my everyday. And it's as simple as that. It can be as simple as that. There's lots of other ways to do it. That's just one way. I'd encourage you to find your own way and even invite others into that and say, hey, how do you actually spend time with God? But don't let it become something that feels like, well, if I don't spend 30 minutes or an hour in my Bible, then it's just not going to be good enough. Who said that? Nobody ever said that. You do what you can. God is so excited to spend time with you anytime. Whatever you can do, start there. And then I believe you will desire to do more of it. Find the way that works for you and do it. Commit to it. And I know it'll change your day. It'll change your week. Just be about it. Be encouraged. You can do it. Bye, friends. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. We'll be praying for you, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Current.